Hey, welcome back to Windy Hill. It's a beautiful day here in Oklahoma. A little cloudy, nice and cool, which is great for what I'm going to be doing today. In a previous video, I talked about how I made a throw bag launcher. It's air powered, made out of Schedule 40 PVC pipe. And at the time, I did a little demo on it where I shot the throw bag over a tree that's like 12, 15 feet tall. Wasn't a very good demo, but anyway, today I'm going to hopefully do a little better demonstration of how it works. Talk a little bit more about how it was made, just in case you didn't watch the previous video. I'm going to be taking down some trees behind my tool shed. It's a metal building, and I don't want to run the risk of the trees falling on the shed, so I'm going to throw a throw bag over it, drag a 1/4-inch cable up into it, and put some pre-tension on it with my old tractor. So anyway, hopefully you enjoy the video. All right, just in case you missed my first video on the throw bag launcher, I'll cover this again real quick. This is a piece of 2-inch PVC. It's got an adapter down to 1 inch, 1-inch nipple, 1-inch ball valve, and then like a 4-inch nipple that I've drilled and tapped for a valve stem. And then I put this little 1-inch piece here, just kind of to put against your shoulder. And then I've got 100 feet of 3/16 rope. Most actual throw bag people like to use a 1/8 inch because it's a lot lighter. But I've had pulling that 1/4-inch cable up through the trees, I found that the 3/16 works better. And I've got two bags. I've got this 12-ounce bag, and then I've got the 16, and today I'm going to be using the 16-ounce. Already in the barrel of this thing, I've got just a shock towel to use for wadding. Anyway, I hook onto that valve stem, and I put 120 psi of air in it. It's not a magic number. You can do 80, you can do 100, whatever you want to do. Anyway, and then when you get ready to shoot it, put that against my shoulder, open the valve real quick, and it sounds like you're shooting a mortar or something. So anyway, works real good for me, but you can modify it any way you want. You can have a smaller chamber, longer barrel, shorter barrel. It's just personal preference, but I found that this one works pretty good. Like I said, I've got a 100-foot rope, and I've shot it probably 110 or 20 feet, so it'll work. Okay, here's the tool shed. As you can see, I've got some storm damaged pecan trees behind it, and my church asked me for some logs to use in a lumberjack game, so it's a good time to take them down. I'm just going to take them totally down, and I've got tons of pecan trees, so it won't be a major loss. Okay, that went pretty well. Went all the way up over the top of the tree. I don't know if you saw it or not, but this little red rag that flies out of there is just like an old muzzle loader rifle. You use a wadding behind that. I shot a 16-pound weight today. I've got a 12. It won't shoot it quite as far, but it doesn't have any recoil either, so there's an advantage to that. But anyway, so it went all the way over the tree and landed on the ground on the other side. So now all I got to do is I've got a 1/4-inch cable. I'll pull up through that tree and hook it onto my tractor because I do not want that thing falling on my tool shed. I know a lot of the lumberjacks out there are probably laughing and wondering why in the world is he going to all that trouble. But you know, I cut a Humboldt notch in the bottom of the tree, and I'm pretty good at guiding it where I want it to go. But you know, sitting right here behind my tool shed, so the last thing I want is an accident. You can get a gust of wind or things go wrong, you know. So anyway, and so this is insurance. So I'm going to pull this cable up through the tree over here, and then I'm going to hook it onto my tractor, put a little tension on it, and make darn sure I know where it's going. Okay, I've got my cable anchored into my tree, and if you can follow that line, it goes over to my tractor, and then I've got through a turning block and then tied off over to that tree. So I've got some tension on it. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of chainsaw noise, so I'll get that done and get her on the ground. Okay, I skipped ahead a little bit. This is number 2 out of 4, but as you can see, I've got my Humboldt notch away from my shed. So now I'm going to do my back cut, and with my tension on my cable, I ought to be good to go. We'll see. Okay, thanks for watching. It's about as easy as that. As you can see, I've got some tall stumps here. I come back in here and cut those off, and then I usually rent a stump grinder and grind them off down below the ground. Other than that, I'm done for the day. I'll cut a lot of this up for firewood, and like I said, I've cut those logs for a Jack and Jill crosscut sawing competition for a church. Not me, a bunch of the kids in the youth group. But anyway, looks better. I feel better about not having trees overhanging my tool shed, because like I said, we had a bad winter last winter and lost a lot of limbs, and luckily none fell on my tool shed. But now when we need trees around to fall on it, I've got trees farther away, as you can see. So I'm not anti-tree. I just don't like them close to where limbs freeze and fall off on my house and on my barns and things like that. So anyway, thanks again for watching. If you got any good information out of the video, give us a like, subscribe, whatever. And if you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the dislike button, but be good enough to tell me why, and maybe we can improve. Thank you very much.